Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to the Mindfulness Daily Practice. We've been doing a series on compassion. Compassion has kind of several steps that we go through. We start our compassion. The foundation of our compassion practice is self-compassion. So it's hard to learn to love others if we haven't first learned to love ourselves. So self-compassion's at the foundation, and then each step outwards away from ourselves could potentially be more and more challenging. So yesterday we did compassion towards a good friend, and most of us found like warm feelings might be easier to connect with a good friend. We may have things in common with our good friend. We know our good friend really well, so that when we wish them happiness, we imagine them being happy. That this is pretty easy to do. That we can see that a bit more clearly if we're using visualization to help. So today we move to the next piece of this practice, the next concentric circle outwards, which is loving kindness, compassion towards a stranger, to someone that I don't know. And this part of the practice can be really helpful because we do encounter in our lives people we don't know, people that we don't have opinions of. And sometimes those people are dehumanized by us, maybe not even intentionally. That sometimes we kind of forget that this is a person who has a life and has a mom and a dad and has has siblings, has children perhaps. They used to be a baby, they used to be a child, and now they are the person that you see in front of you. Like the whole story, the backstory of this person doesn't appear in your mind. And because of that, sometimes we have a hard time connecting with another person and recognizing that humanity. And so we'll just walk back through the 3 steps of compassion that we did yesterday. So the 3 steps are mindfulness, so being aware of what's happening right now, being aware of my thoughts, my feelings, my physical sensations in my body, helping me to identify very specifically and clearly what's going on with me right now, step 1. Step 2, remembering that I have things in common with every human being. And so this is foundational for self-compassion, remembering that you're not alone, that whatever you're experiencing has been experienced by others and tends to be experienced by others, that the difficulties, the challenges, the suffering that we go through, it's not unique to us, that everyone has difficult times. And that includes this stranger in front of you, wherever you might be. This stranger also has had difficult times. And so we can use this common humanity to connect with someone that we don't know. And then the 3rd step is to offer kindness. And so the way we've been doing that is by using some phrases that kind of help to reinforce. And especially those of us who don't do compassion practice every day, you haven't yet flexed those muscles of compassion. What can be really helpful is using phrases to start to bring an attitude of kindness towards others. And so the stranger can be one of the most challenging of the objects of compassion. And one of the reasons is just because I don't know this person personally. So sometimes even our challenging person, which we'll go through on Monday, sometimes our challenging person can be easier than the stranger because at least I know something about the challenging person. The stranger, when I try to imagine this person being happy, what's that look like? I don't know. I don't know this person, so how can I imagine them happy? So could be a little bit challenging, but one thing that we'll do today is, and I think this is a really important piece, is that step 2. So we'll start our practice with a little bit of mindfulness. We'll move into, as we do our meditation, we'll start moving into, the foundation of compassion, which is ourselves. We'll do a little of compassion towards ourselves. And then as we begin to shift towards the stranger, I'll just go through a few a few phrases, a few realizations about the other person, which will hopefully help connect you to this person and recognize that this is a real person, that this person has a history and has feelings and is a human being just like you are, and has had challenges just like you are, and just like you have. And as we go through that piece of the practice, that may help as we shift to connection with that person. So I know I think yesterday there were some comments in the chat about feeling guilty for interactions with a stranger. So one additional thing that that maybe, I mean, here's a good example. A store clerk doesn't serve you in the way that you're expecting to be served, and you get really upset, and you start having an angry confrontation with this person, even though it's somebody that you don't know, based on your expectations about what was supposed to happen and what actually happened. Maybe there was a better, more logical way to resolve it, but you got emotionally triggered because of course. The problem is that it happened to you. You find that anytime something happens to you, there's oftentimes a story that goes along with it. If you come up to your car and you find that your car has a key scratch down the side, right? What's the thought that goes through your mind? You're like, what a boop boop boop, expletives, right? Or what a jerk! How dare he? How dare they put this, damage my car in this way? Like, what do they have against me? What is it? Is there something about my car? Maybe do they know me? Why do they do this? Right? Like this tends to be the thought. The initial thought isn't about the car, right? The initial thought is about the person that did this and the intention of that person. And so it's kind of what tends to happen is we take our idea when it's something towards me. It's like this is a personal attack against me. We tend to do that. A lot of this stuff that happens to us in life isn't in fact so personal, but we tend to take it all very personally, and that's it. Every time that the story of me shows up, we kind of take it and just kind of really expand it outwards. And I think we talked about this yesterday briefly as well, is that we think that the other person in the encounter remembers us so well and remembers the encounter with us so well because, of course, it's an encounter with, the star of the show. It's the encounter with me. So, just be aware of this as well in your mindfulness practice. The me that shows up, and the little I call it the little statue of me that how much we protect this, and we want it to not get damaged and not be hurt, and there's this external image of me that is so important that I project outwards. And sometimes this causes us, not only the pain that it causes us to lash out towards others, and also in those moments forget that there's another human being here, that this is a person who has a story. And so I'm going to give you a little homework tip at the end of our practice session today. And so before we get into our homework, let's do our practice, okay? So get comfortable, and whatever interaction happens in the chat, I'll also cover it after we finish our meditation today. And so for compassion practice, for this kind of loving kindness, would encourage you just to be comfortable. Lie down if you want to lie down. If you find some stress in the body, feel free to roll your shoulders, roll your neck. Just get yourself comfortable and relaxed. And so arriving in our posture, whatever it looks like today, and starting to tune in to the feeling of being here, right now. What's it feel like to be here? How do you know that you're here? How do you know that you have a body? Can you feel sensations in the body? If you're sitting, maybe you can feel the cushion or chair pressing against the buttocks. If you're lying down, you can feel whatever you're lying on pressing back against your body. Could be like against the back of the head, the shoulders, the elbows, the backs of the hands, the buttocks, parts of the legs, the heels. You can feel your clothing on your body. Maybe you can feel perspiration. Maybe you can feel the body moving as you breathe. So taking a moment to connect with the physical body. And if the body as a whole is too vast for you to keep your attention on, just pay attention to the movement of the body with the breath. Expanding as we inhale, contracting as we exhale. And once you feel you've begun to calibrate yourself into the present moment through means of attention to the body, beginning to shift attention to the mind, the state of the mind today. Do you find the mind agitated, busy? Or when you look towards the mind, is it empty and blank? Somewhere between these two states. What about the state of the emotions? Do you find links between the mind, the body, and the emotions? So just taking a moment to observe yourself fully. The mind, the emotions, any connection to the body. And now let's begin, if you feel ready to do so, to bring attention to ourselves, to our sense of self, and seeing if we can begin to have a loving attitude towards ourselves, loving ourselves exactly as we are right now, without needing to be any different or better. The you that's here right now is the you that's supposed to be here right now. This is the power of the present. You are already the way that you are now. The time to love yourself is now. And recognizing that whatever struggles, whatever emotional difficulty you may be going through is not unique to you. And human beings around the world right now are feeling the same way that you're feeling. And human beings have had these emotions for centuries, for millennia. So accepting this is the me that's here now. Opening our arms and our hearts to ourselves. And if you like, beginning to extend some well wishes to yourself. And so you can repeat after me. May I be happy and contented. May I be happy and contented. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and whole, to whatever degree possible for me. May I be healthy and whole, to whatever degree possible for me. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. And now taking a moment to mindfully observe the mind, the body, the emotions as they are right now. And as we begin to let go of ourselves as an object. And now bringing into mind a stranger. A stranger could be anyone that we've encountered, could be today or yesterday, someone that we don't know necessarily, that we may have heard of, or an acquaintance that we met that we don't yet have an opinion of. Could be a grocery store clerk, or your taxi driver, or a bus driver, or someone that you met just recently. Could be the security guard of your building. So just allowing this person's face and body to come into your mind. A visualization, if you feel comfortable bringing that visualization in. You can, in fact, imagine that person's here with you, meditating with you. And so recognizing this person in front of me has a body and a mind just like me. This person has thoughts and emotions just like I do. This person has had times of joy and happiness and fulfillment the same way I have. And this person has had times of challenges, of struggles, of difficulties, of unsatisfactoriness, of sadness, of confusion. Just like me. And this person has suffered and wishes to be free from that suffering, just like me. So now I can begin to extend my happiness, extend my compassion to myself outwards towards this person, this stranger. So as if we're talking directly to this imagined person in front of us. May you be happy and contented. May you be happy and contented. May you be safe and protected and free from inner and outer harm. May you be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy and whole and complete, as much as that is possible for you. May you be healthy and whole to whatever degree is possible for you. May you be at peace. May you have ease of well-being. May you be at peace. May you have ease of well-being. And so continuing, if you like, with these phrases, or simply seeing if you can imagine this person being happy, with a smile on their face, feeling warm and contented, feeling happy, feeling safe, feeling whole, feeling peaceful. And now it's time to say goodbye to our stranger. Allow their image to dissolve into the background of your awareness. And bringing attention back to self, back to the body, observing once again the breath, the body as a whole, the state of the mind, the state of the emotions. And so let's draw our attention fully to the feeling of breathing to the next 3 breaths as we begin to draw our practice to its close. And I'll close our practice today with 3 rings of the bell. After the sound of the bell subsides, feel free to move around, open your eyes, transition out of your practice in any way if it feels appropriate for you. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining me in practice today. Thank you for being here with each other as well. So I'll get to the chat in a moment, but first I'd just like to give you your homework. Is as you go through the rest of your day, and maybe even tomorrow as well, as you see a person walking on the street, just have a mental note, just practice saying in your mind, I wish this person is happy. I hope this person is happy. See what happens. See what happens as you begin to shift have this intentional thought each time you see another person. I wish this person would be happy. And then if you do this for a few days, the next time you have an encounter with a stranger, especially one that could be challenging, what is that encounter like? Is it different because of this? So give it a try. How was your practice? How did things go today? I'm going to have a look at the chat now. Kim was sharing before we started our meditation, says, I've been working on self-compassion lately and not treating myself as an afterthought and beating myself up for past decisions. Well, it is a practice, Kim, so keep it up. And Rachel, thanks for your story about the stranger, about your encounter. This kind of helped me to reimagine one of my stories of a challenging encounter that I had with a stranger in the past, and so that was really, really good to be able to bring that up and remember it and use it as material for today's practice. So thanks for that. And so I think that's another interesting thing is the challenges that you have as well. I mean, this is one of the real power in sharing, right? Is that the challenges that you have, it feels like, especially at the time of the challenge, like, wow, like, oh, like I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I did this. And one of the things that tends to happen is I'm alone in this, right? Like, this is me, this happened to me. And I think really the power of sharing with somebody else, because you recognize, you can start to feel the common humanity, and you can start to have a little compassion over yourself or for yourself. And remember that, like, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. And, even those highly practiced monks, I mean, if you think mindfulness is the key, they still have challenging encounters, right? They're still not calm 100% of the time. Even if they look calm outwardly, there's still an inner fire. If you look at someone meditating, you don't know what's going on inside of their mind, as peaceful as they may look. So there's there's a lot to be learned, and you try to take it easy on yourself, because we're all human and we all have mistakes and failures. Thanks, Rachel, for sharing, and thanks for being here today. Dirk asks, is it possible the stranger feels some kind of vibration? Oh, I'm not sure what you mean by that. You mean through our practice? Barbara shares, I felt humility today, knowing I do not know this stranger. Thanks, Barbara, for sharing. Oh, so I guess Rachel's helping to clarify. As in, do they get our thought waves? So, okay, this goes into the realm of belief. Do they get our thought waves? That would mean our thought waves are measurable. That when I have a thought, that it projects outwardly, and I can know with some degree of certainty that this happens. Is it possible that our loving kindness emanates outwardly, that there's some kind of connection that we have with others? It's possible, but there's no way to know for sure if that's what happens. So for me, what I say that is the most important piece of this practice is not worrying about whether or not it affects the other person, is that we do this practice for ourselves. Even the loving kindness for strangers, for our friends, even for those who are challenging to us. These are not intended to affect that other person directly. They're intended to affect ourselves, so that our inclination changes. So the next time you come to a stranger, the next time you come to that challenging person, you might have a different attitude because you've been practicing. So I hope that answers the question better. Does the vibration of our well wishes affect others? And unfortunately, this is something that we, at least with the current technology that we have, we cannot know. Okay, great. Good to know that that's answered. All right, everybody. Thanks, John, for your comment. John says, I think that others do feel our good thoughts for them, and it raises the energy around us. Thanks, John, for sharing. So thanks again for joining. Let us close our practice by sending well wishes out. So well wishes to ourselves. And guess what? You're here today with 79 other strangers. Although I suppose if you're regular, maybe they're not all strangers. But 79 other people, a lot of them may be strangers. So you can do your practice, your compassion towards strangers right now. So let's do it. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening right now, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. May all sentient life around this planet, around the universe, may we all be happy and peaceful. All right. See ya. Bye-bye.